Hello and welcome to Explorers of Elsewhere's Elysia Rising campaign. Hi, I'm DM Dan, and I'm joined by these rapscallions who mock my intros. How you all doing? You all good?
All good.
Good.
Very good.
Amazing. Very, very good. Amazing. We find you having quite stressed out in the aftermath of a rather peculiar snatch and grab.
It's fine.
Yes, you have successfully kidnapped the leader of the Cobbles, Mustovan. I knew you loved him really. But yeah, there's lots of stuff afoot. There's lots of cogs are turning, and I have a horrible feeling that you lot are going to be a massive wrench to throw right into the middle of it all. So, shall we see how much of a mess you all have made?
Sure.
Marvelous. All right, let's go.
Welcome to Elysia, the jewel of the north. On our gilded streets, fortune and fame can be found by anyone.
Hi, I'm Julia, and I'm playing Magpie, an ace of our lurk.
Hi, I'm Nate, and I'm playing Cavern, a dragon-scent slide.
Hi, I'm Meg. I'm playing Frida, a wolfkin cutter.
Hi, I'm JC, and I'll be playing Algernon, an Asavar spider.
Hello, I'm Errol. I am playing Atta, a goblin whisperer.
And my name is DM Dan. I will be the games master on this adventure.
So come on in and marvel at our wonders. Make sure you see the beautiful views we have to offer, and don't mind the ghosts. They're friendly, really. Grab yourselves a seat and make yourselves welcome in the city of Elysia.
Trust is a concept championed and cherished by many in Elsewhere, and stands as a universal mortar between the bricks of civilization. The companionship born of one's trust in another allowed many to accomplish feats greater than the sum of their parts. But trust became the dividing factor in the war betwixt dragons. Aya's trust in the wisdom of divinity, Akan's trust in mortal-held magic, and the breaking of the invisible bonds between fellow mortals made the pain of betrayal even greater. The people of Elysia, in as desperate a position as they find themselves in, have to once again rely on trust in their friends and fellow Elysians to simply survive day to day. However, when even the bonds between close companions become frayed and vulnerability turns friend against friend, who is to say what the devastating fallout that can befall us will look like? And so, where do we find Frida and Algernon? Where has the barge taken you after your dramatic extraction with Mustovan?
I think it's taken us back to our little dock at the Ivory.
Okay.
And we'll be regrouping at the manor.
Okay, very, very good. Are Magpie, Atta, and Cavern making your way back?
Yeah.
Okay. In which case, yeah, the three of you, that you've been making your way counterclockwise through the city districts, back through Waterbridge, when you have seen this marvel of whatever power created it, as these large vines now arc over Bell Tower Prison, almost like a bird cage of sorts, but the vines similar to that over the castle keep, over the Ruby Keep, but these like a healthy looking green, but studded with these blood red crystalline structures that jut out from them like thorns. And as the three of you make your way from Waterbridge to Rookridge, from Rookridge to Duskland, especially going through the slums, there is a certain panicked energy in the air. There are City Watch running to and fro. Thankfully, they don't seem to be kind of paying you three much attention, as they are busy either trying to calm or quell the crowds that are hanging out of windows, clambering up onto roof accesses to peer at this new edifice over the St. Hollow. But yeah, you make your way as you reach the bridge that over the river, and soon enough you find yourself on the familiar streets of Duskland before crossing the bridge into the Ivory. You notice that even as far as the Duskland Ivory border, people are peering, gawping, supposing as to what is currently happening. But it seems that these large vines have caught the attention of everyone you pass. As you make it back to the manor, Algernon and Frida, what have you done? Well, you arrived back a few minutes earlier with this kind of kicking, thrashing, swearing burlap sack. And I'm assuming you, as you unceremoniously empty the contents, which room are you doing this in? Which part of the manor?
I think we'll go to Frida's rec room, which
Okay.
was my old nursery.
Okay. In which case, rather unceremoniously, this portly and quite dense, you've realised, Frida, goblin just and splays out across the floor of the manor. He lies still for a moment, and in this, for a second, Algernon, you're immediately kind of the thought, the image of a possum playing dead kind of flicks through your mind for a moment before, in a speed you've never seen this goblin move before, he sort of like scrabbles across the ground a little bit before pulling himself to his feet, and he grabs a nearby broken chair leg and sort of like waves it and holds it in your direction, sort of waving it to and fro. What is it? What? Says the goblin.
I'm going to kick over a child-sized chair, inviting him to sit down, and I've immediately got a glass of my fine liquor in my hand, and going to offer it to him, put it underneath his nose.
So as the chair kind of skids across the floor towards Musto, he, like, his little face contorts into one of abject confusion, and you can almost hear his brain trying to figure out what is happening right now. But at the smell of this like fine liquor, presumably from sort of like the Cadwallader cellars, he just like, still with this broken chair leg pointing in your direction, just slowly like parks his bum on the seat and then like grabs the bottle off you, and then sort of still waggling this leg around, just right. Is anyone going to tell me what the bloody hell is happening right now?
There's no need for weaponry, man. We already have heard how you're the most dangerous criminal in the city.
For a moment, his face, there's a flicker of really on his face before he then begins to frown, and he begins stuttering again. But you notice that his arms slowly kind of lowering.
Seems you may have painted an unholy target on yourself, but don't worry, we're not murderers, as you know, we're smugglers. And that's what we've done.
But I don't understand. What are you smuggling?
You idiot.
Me? But what? Why would you do that? What do you mean unholy target? What are you wittering on about, Algernon?
High Priestess Esoth, she seems to think that your existence is a stain on creation, and she wants us to rub it out.
What would you think of that?
I was hoping you could tell me, old boy. Something to do with your tunneling expeditions underneath the prison?
Musto's jowls are sort of like, they wobble ever so slightly every time he goes. He's like mouthing silently to himself as he's clearly like, non-verbally verbalizing the thoughts that are running through his head. But as you mentioned that, he then sort of like freezes for a moment, like a child that's just been caught doing something naughty, and then the beady little eyes turn to look at you. Oh, you heard about that then, yeah?
You told me about it, man, the last time we met.
Yes, I did. And I can safely say that you have passed this test of trust and truth. Well done, Alvin. I wasn't sure if other people in the room were privy to our secret conversation.
I'm glad I've passed your test. I would accept nothing less from such a devious mastermind as yourself. I've a lot to learn from you, must I?
Yeah, well, that you do. But perhaps if you're gonna, run off with me, at least, get me the drink beforehand. And as he says that, he kind of lifts the bowl hat that, for as long as you've known him, has been firmly secured to his head. And he takes it off, and Frida, you can almost see your reflection in the sheen of the sweaty bald head with the comb over. As he wipes his brow with the top of the bowler hat and then pulls it back on with some force. And there's almost a suction of air sound as it slides back on.
We needed it to look convincing for our patrons. And I think we managed that, Frida, didn't we? There were enough witnesses in the end.
Oh, aye. That there were.
Well, yes, that's very good, very good. So just gonna circle back. What's this about, Esoth? I mean, like, surely she ain't got any problems with me because we're like, goblins in this together, aren't we?
I will. She only wants you dead. And she asked us to do it.
Huh. I didn't know you lot had that sort of relationship with her.
Aye, neither did we.
So that means that somehow she's found out about my little plan, Algernon. Which is strange, because I lead a watertight operation.
Clearly.
Yes, we asked Quiet Tom, and he wouldn't say a word about it.
Well, yeah, that's why we call him Quiet Tom. It's a good thing he didn't speak to Loud Tom. He's a right blabbermouth. That's why I don't tell him nothing. No. Anyway, where are the others? And the other three of you, as you kind of enter into Cabola de Manor, you can hear the reverberant bassy tones of Musto's voice kind of ring through the halls. But yeah, I presume the three of you are heading straight up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Reluctantly.
Yes. So as the three of you arrive, Musto leans back and you notice that he's about 2/3 of the way through this bottle that you gave him, Algernon. But he looks at you and, so what was your deal in the plan, eh? Where have you been?
Meeting some rather unfavourable characters. They weren't really in the plan, but they seemed to have gone a different way now.
Well, very good, very good. Right, well, so if you're supposed to be offing me, which I mean, yeah, it's surprising that she. I'm not saying that you wouldn't be up to it, but I mean, yeah, come on. But like, let's say you were able to bump me off, but like you're pretending that you haven't, but you gotta make it look like you have. So I suppose I'd. And he looks around the room. Well, I'll just be staying here for a while, won't I?
Frida just sort of like whispers to the others, I should have dropped him in the river when we had the chance.
I do have one request. I've never had an en suite before, so if you've got any of these rooms with an en suite, that'd be great.
Frida points to the bucket in the corner and says, there's your ensuite right there.
He gives it a genuine, not bad look.
Got no holes in it. That's a boost up for him.
So, what's your plan now?
Well, have I ever shown you my magic tricks, must I?
He thinks. Probably.
Well, how would you like to disappear?
He sort of like, he looks around and then he breathes in deep and you hear a slight as he clears something from his kind of nasal passages, and then he sort of like leans back and then like pulls his shoes off, like kicks his shoes off, and sort of like you see him like spread his toes, one of his right big toe poking through a hole in his sock, and then he lifts the bottle of liquor that you've given him. I don't know. I mean, this is a pretty good way to disappear, he says as he finishes the bottle. If you just want to leave me here, I could be dead quiet.
Ah, and that's how the gang got themselves a pet Musto.
No.
He's the new Bear the Horse. Oh my gosh, Horse the Bear, rather. For those of you that have watched Campaign 1.
He then stops and... What? I mean, wait. How long do I have to be gone for? Because, you know, like, prison... Well, he looks around the room and then kind of stands up, shuffles over to you, Algernon. A prison break. That's supposed to be happening tomorrow.
Right, well, how long do goblins live?
He lets out a slight kind of squeak of surprise and then looks to you, Atta, with a face that says, oh.
I mean, outside of Elysia, pretty long, but...
Yeah, what I said. So I mean, I suppose, what, you know, if you're going to keep me cooped up here, that's fine, but I'll kind of need to go out so I can lead the boys in to get them all those Sangivars out of the prison.
Tell you what, Musto, why don't you and I find another bottle of that and we can talk over this plan of yours, and I'm happy to take over the work. You can just sit back here, relax with your shoes off.
As long as everyone knows it was my plan to begin with, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
I'm used to keeping my name off the papers.
Oh, well, I don't see any problem with that at all, he says. Right, show me the liquor, he says.
One last thing, Musto.
Yeah.
I know you're a man of impeccable taste. You don't happen to have any accessories in that tiny little mouth of yours, a gold tooth or anything that would identify you?
You see, he looks at you, he blinks a few times, and then you see his tongue move in his mouth. But like almost instinctively. And then he... No. And he smiles, but you notice that his tongue is kind of poking out and covering up one of the teeth next to his kind of like one of the premolars. No. Why?
Well, Frida here used to be a dentist, didn't you, Frida? In the workhouse.
Oh, aye. I've made many a tooth disappear.
Really? He says as he looks at you, and I can only assume with a swift thud. the gold-plated tooth, the tarnished gold-plated tooth. There's a cry of pain, and we next see the tooth in the palm of your hand, Frida,
Yes.
with a bit of musto, blood, and dribble.
Yeah, or just lightly indented into the side of the knuckle dusters that she wears.
Very good, very good. Okay, so you've successfully snatched Musto. He can be around to have a quick natter at downtime. How are you wrapping things out with Lukraji?
Well, obviously we're going to lie to her, but it depends how much we want to back up the lie with any further actions.
Is there anything that you want to do? We can effectively imagine this is still part of like the plan, but you've got Musto's tooth, so there's that.
I'm sort of saying this out of Frida voice, but like I suppose we've got the tooth. We've also got witnesses from his own crew that he's been snatched. So I don't know if there's a way we can almost ensure that message is spread.
How difficult do we think it would be to dress Atta up like Musto?
And what? Musto, who's meant to be dead.
I mean, Algernon has a camera.
Yeah, true.
I do have
We
a
just
camera.
arrange him out like this.
Set up a like snuff video or stuff.
Yeah, we're not.
They used to do this-
No.
they used to do this in real life.
Like
Victorians used to do this in real
Memento
life.
Mori's. Yeah.
Oh my
yeah.
god. Could we not just like a bit like was it you were saying, Meg, just like get the word out, say like, spread a rumour. I hear that Musto's been done in. Someone did a hit on Musto Varn. And then Lukraji will hear that and will take the tooth.
I think if we sort of also speak to Musto and I don't know Algernon, if you can convince him to kind of, if he's going to tell anyone he's still alive, to make sure that is that it's as minimal people as possible that find out.
Quiet Tom. Quiet
Very
Tom only.
quiet Tom.
Only
Silent
quiet
Tom.
Silent Tom.
Potentially Tom who's already had his lips sewn together, Tom.
Dead Tom.
Dead Tom. Yes.
Won't the Faith be surprised that there isn't a new like ghost, right? Do they keep tabs on how many ghosts kind of are in and out?
Ooh.
I mean, potentially, but it's like, you know that the shield bearers have a thing for like fighting ghosts and the like, and like anything that's a threat to Elysia, but I mean,
Like, given Lukraji wanted us to do this, could we not just say to her we dealt with the ghost as well?
Well,
hmm.
and
We
then a
killed him
body
and-
usually goes to the mushroom farm, right? So, but they like Cavern there, so maybe we can try and bribe some of the mausoleum people to like
Give us a goblin body.
maybe.
I mean, I would argue
We'll just lie.
between the hearsay from the streets, a photograph which is somewhat revolutionary in Elysia of the body, and his tooth. I think that triple threat
I think it covers
would
us.
probably be enough to
Yeah.
seal the deal.
And with a healthy dose of consort and sway from Algernon and Frida, I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah, it will be fine.
Okay. Is that our plan?
Yes.
We've got his tooth. We're gonna do some whispers
Photography. and
and some
spread a rumour.
some amateur photography. Okay.
And if all else fails, Cavern can seduce her.
Yeah.
Okay. I will go ahead and just say it won't be very difficult at all to encourage the spread of rumors. You note to the fact where anyone that's kind of looking to do that, the kobolds are currently spreading feelers out throughout the city in an attempt to find Musto. So that, given the fact that the kobolds are in themselves a citywide coalition of street gangs, like word is spreading pretty quick. So Algernon, are you? I can only assume that the blow that took out Musto's tooth has just sprawled him out on the floor, dead Peter Griffin style, and you've just taken that opportunity to take the photo.
With today's copy of the treatise.
Sure. Okay, grim. Okay, so leaving Musto with a bottle of remedial liquor next to his unconscious form, who's doing the who's going back to the cathedral?
I would like to, yeah.
I think Frida would like to, but more because she's kind of hoping that maybe she can convince them to let her see their healers, because she's looking a little bit beaten up.
Sure. Catherine? Is Catherine going?
No, I think Cavern's going to stay behind, and he's going to make sure Musto doesn't just wander off.
Sure. Okay. In which case, it takes you a little while to kind of get everything together, your little proof of deed package, if you will. But Algernon and Frida, as you make your way from the Ivory through to Abbotsgate, you notice, like, you yourselves see this strange structure over the top of Bell Tower. Have the five of you got any ideas of what's happening before you head off?
I think I might have heard that the previous Vine incident was to do with the Garden Keepers. So Algie's making a little mental note that Garden Keepers have been up to something again. Might be worth checking in with.
Sure. Well, as the two of you kind of grace the streets, like the clean, ordered streets of Abbotsgate, you find them awash with people clamoring around the cathedral. And there seems to be a slight degree of kind of hysteria and panic amongst the masses. Like people frantically pointing at the crystalline growths that they can see jutting from the vines, and like cries to the children of Aya. What does it mean? What's happening? Have we been forsaken? And you can see a large number of iron clerics kind of trying to gather the crowd and kind of calm them down, but it's clear that everyone's in a very heightened state, enough so that you're able to effectively kind of slip by and head into the cathedral proper. You see Lukraji at the altar at the far end, surrounded by what appear to be high-ranking priests and priestesses, and then she notices you approaching.
Before we go up to her, Frida would just like to sort of place a hand on Algernon's shoulder and stop him at the door. I've just got to say, I just wanted to thank you, Algernon, for it all got a little bit crazy last night, and you held me back before I went too far, and I'm just really thankful that you did. I'm finding it harder and harder lately to hold back, and I'm just really grateful that you were there to do it for me.
I'm grateful that you held back, Frida. There may be a time where you don't need to, and I just want to see you focus that in the right direction. I've spent my entire life traveling around the world as a weapon for the EIC. I know what it's like to be focused on the wrong target.
I suppose you do. Thank you, and for I guess for not treating me like a monster.
Hopefully I can say the same of all of us on the other side of all this, wherever it ends up.
Me too.
As you finish this, you sense a presence approach, and Algernon, you notice a slight glow of light appearing on like the right hand side of Frida's face, and the two of you turn to see High Priestess Lukraji standing, like looking up at you with a look of calm, an expectant calm on her face. But you see that the structure at the top of her stave kind of seemingly glowing a bit brighter than you've noticed it before. But she turns to you and, I trust you come with good tidings.
Not sure about good, but I think you'll want to hear them.
She nods. She glances to the two clerics alongside her, and they kind of wordlessly nod and leave, leaving you with the High Priestess. And she tilts her head, like lifts her chin up to regard you, and kind of assumes this position of authority. I hear troubling whispers from Rookridge. It strikes me that this is a night of upheaval.
Rumors can be awfully dangerous, can't they, High Priestess?
She squints ever so slightly. I will, of course, require proof of tonight's deeds.
And Algernon has prepared this perfect little manila envelope containing the gold tooth and the photograph.
Okay. Lukraji, there's a look of like genuine surprise and curiosity on her face as she looks at this photo, and despite given what it's depicting, she seems rather unfazed, more just like, oh, what is this still image that I'm seeing?
Memento mori, High Priestess. Remember death.
She nods. You see her grimace as she picks out this tooth that's still got a bit of gum attached to it, and she tuts as she drops it back in the envelope. She closes it and places it, like tucks it under her robes. May he find peace in the ever after.
That's your domain more than mine.
She looks to you like she's quite hard to read right now. The impassiveness of her seems somewhat oppressive, but she continues. As we have discussed before, placing your faith in Aya is not only just, but it is also rewarded, she says. And she reaches out and hands you a sack of coin. You've brought her proof, so let's say 6 coin. You hear 6 coin jingling in the satchel. And with this, I suspect our business is concluded, though.
Not quite yet. If you don't mind, High Priestess. That scrappy little bugger didn't go without a fight, and as you can see, I'm in quite a bad way. I was hoping that maybe your grace might extend to some healing.
She looks you up and down, and like she closes her eyes and nods, and then she looks to you dead in the eye and says, "Kneel, child. Kneel and accept the gift of Aya. Allow her soothing light to heal your wounds."
Frida very reluctantly kneels, but there's the slight twitch as she clenches her jaw.
Algernon, you notice the ever so slight kind of smirk authoritative smirk on her face as Frida stoops down and kind of comes down to the goblin's level, like eye level, and Lukraji places her index and middle finger on the center of your forehead. Her thumb wraps round just under your cheekbone, and she puts 2 more segments on your heel clock off the back of a 5. You feel like a warmth radiate through your head, and whilst your wounds are still there, they do feel less painful, especially the throbbing, the burning feeling on your cheek from the cuts that Jeff gave you. And you don't notice the cramping in your abdomen from the slash from the cobble as much.
Thank you.
She nods. If there's nothing else, there's been an occurrence within the city that I feel demands the attention of the faith. And she kind of glances, you see her eyes kind of glance past you, looking out the front door. And as you look to track her line of sight, you can see her staring at this kind of cage over Bell Tower. It would seem that there are dire forces operating within Elysia indeed. And we must answer the call to provide a guiding light.
I wouldn't know anything about any dark forces, High Priestess, but if we've caught you in a time of crisis, I'll leave you to your business. Providing that our little bargain is concluded.
The children of Aya are more than satisfied with your offerings, Algernon. May you walk in Aya's light. May you bathe in her divinity.
And may you remember, High Priestess, that my threats are not empty, nor do they disappear.
She kind of laughs slightly, and I have not forgotten this at all. So, please, let me extend some advice. If you feel any sense of companionship to others of your affliction, I would suggest that you displace them, much as you did a certain Mastovan. Come the morning, you will feel the better for it. And she looks to the two of you, she kind of bows her head slightly, and then turns to leave.
Well, that wasn't ominous at all.
A religious leader preaching a lack of compassion. Well, I've heard everything.
Okie dokie. So, I'm assuming the two of you head back to Cadwallader, and we begin our downtime?
So what's happening to all that money?
Okay, well, we'll spin back round to that when we get to it. So, it's the first... so first off, payoff. You've just received coin. You've received 6 coin. Are you putting 2 coin aside for the Oneshi?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. So 4 coin. Now, currently, the crew is... the stash is full. So you'll have to distribute that 4 coin amongst yourselves.
I'm full. I've got 2 coin already.
Atta's got 1. Catherine's got 2. So you can carry 4 coin amongst yourselves, but
oh, okay.
It's like each coin effectively counts as a load. 1 for Algernon,
yeah.
and then 1 for
that.
Frida. So 1, 2, so 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you've got 7 between you. You've got 4 in the stash, so that's 11. So amongst you and the stash, you're now up to 15 coin if you're paying the Oneshi. As an aside, if you were to upgrade the crew at any point in the near future, you're going to need 16 coin.
What? 16?
16 coin.
That's more than we've got.
By 1, yes.
That's more than we can hold.
Boy, we better.
If only you had... If only there was an additional coin you could make somewhere.
Like what?
Musto could give us a coin. For not killing him.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, let's extort the little fucker. Do it.
Well, you've got the option. You could pay the Ilnashi just 1 coin on an IOU retainer.
I don't think we've got a lot of grace from the Elysia at the moment. After what happened to the gold pot.
I mean, they're slightly irked with you, but I mean, well, I think they're just kind of irked with in general, arguably.
So basically, if we do that, that means we upgrade the crew, we have 0 coin, and we owe a coin to the Elysia.
Yes. So maybe they'll just ask, they'll just add it to your next payment.
Let's have 3 next
With
time.
interest.
Oh, God. So, wasn't there a way... Have we already done it to have, like, a little gold vault in our home base so we can keep
Need
more
to
coin
upgrade
there?
the base.
We need to upgrade until we get our vault.
What's the deal with our personal stashes? I've never really understood that.
So stash, it's more for, like, standard length Blades campaigns where...
Yeah, because it's like how you retire.
Yeah. So that's like that's the money you hide under the mattress kind of thing, but it costs you to take it out. It costs you to withdraw it. But yeah, the idea is when your pockets are full, you start chucking things into stash, and that's how comfortably you live when you decide to no longer be a criminal. Right. But that is not an option for you lots.
We're not saving for the future.
There's no retirement for you.
We live in a time-limited death bubble.
So yes, do you want to withhold a coin? Or go on, Atta?
We can also sell ghosts to the Hollow.
Oh, I don't like that idea, though.
No, Atta doesn't like that idea, but I'm just reminding you all that they will always pay.
I think if we were going to weigh up the lesser of 2 evils, owing the Elysia is by far less evil.
I would agree with that.
They can fucking wait. They're fine.
Yeah, they're all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't. They like literally were like dripping with gold themselves when we saw them. They don't need the coin. They're fine.
That's fine then. That's fine. Let's just owe the Elysia.
Okie dokie. And I in no way, shape or form influence that decision. Okay, so you're keeping 5 coin and paying the Elysia 1. In term, so it means between you and the stash, you now have 16 coin. The crew earns 3 rep in using your leverage ability. Bam! You tackled a target with a higher tier than you. You tackled the cobbles, and they are tier 2. So that is 1 extra pip for a total of 4 rep, which takes you to 1, 2, 3, 4. So you complete your track, and then you skip back up to 3 rep, which means, as you are currently tier 1 strong, you will now upgrade if you want to pay 16 coin to a tier 2 weak faction.
Yes.
Oh.
Go on.
This also means that perhaps what they've been doing in the background, Wraith and Fiends, is just getting more recruits, but you do get another area of turf.
Cool.
So looking at your turf map, your choices are going clockwise from Viceden. So you've got Viceden, so that generates coin in your downtime. You can get extra turf, which will reduce the amount of rep you need to level up. You could get a warehouse, so stockpiles give you +1 dice to acquire assets. We'd workshop that. A fleet, so Wraith and Fiends would have their own vehicles. You have a second option for turf, or you have a choice of a luxury fence. So you get +2 coins if you target high-class targets. It's fundamentally, I mean, you can nick things on the job and sell them on.
Yeah.
A bit like with the hollow with the ghosts.
Why not employ a medic? I kind of feel like that's increasingly becoming needed.
If only.
You
Clinic.
You could use one of us could use a downtime activity to acquire one temporarily.
Yeah.
well, there's a potential for that a little bit later. We'll come back to that. But yeah, how are you looking to expand the crew? So Vice Den, Tavern, Turf, Warehouse, Fleet, or Luxury Fence?
Were we thinking of doing Vice Den last time?
So remind me what a tier roll is, Dan.
Roll 2 dice.
Yeah.
Because we're tier 2.
Right, so we'd roll 2 dice, we'd take away the amount of heat we took on the mission, which is already -2 per score because of cover operation, and that we'd then get that amount of coin.
Yeah.
I like that idea. I think that's a nice idea.
Yeah, same.
The Vice Den.
The Vice
Yeah.
Den, yeah. It's just extra coin for us. I mean, although that's only useful if we've got places to keep the coin.
But we do now because we have
Do we now?
coin.
I mean, have we
All of
got
our coin, yeah.
have we got bigger reserves then for our coin now that we're tier 2?
Well, we just
Not
spent
yet.
all of our coin.
Well, no, yeah, I know that. But over time, as we acquire more, will we have places to keep
You
it?
have to upgrade your lair.
And presumably that money.
No. Well,
Would,
we'll come back.
Okay.
I absolutely agree with Julia. I am thinking though, like, what will make our hold strong rather than weak? Is it acquiring more turf,
Upgrading
level-
again.
or is it leveling up again?
Yeah, so leveling up again.
Cool. In that case, ignore what I just said,
No.
and I'm all for the Vice Den.
What does acquiring turf do again, Dan?
So currently you need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11 rep to level up to increase your hold. For every turf you have, it reduces the amount you need by 1. So if you were to
it
pick
would
up
be
turf,
10.
you then need 10 to get the
Okay.
next upgrade.
That's not to be sniffed at, but I also like the idea of earning coin every downtime.
Well, and we can also use the coin. Downtime is about to happen. I don't know if we'll earn coin in that downtime or not, but you can spend coin for extra downtime activities. And we're quite stressed and injured, so that might be a good use of coin.
Good to have an income for that type of thing. Definitely.
I suspect it wouldn't be this downtime that the Vice Den would be ready to go, but certainly from your next one,
Mm-hmm.
you could upgrade.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, cool. So you lot have a Vice Den. Is it a new location? If so, where? Or
Yeah.
are you upgrading the Spectre?
The Spectre was looking awfully quiet. Maybe it could do with the paint job.
Okay.
Sure.
We can
Rebrand
case-
it to the Pink
Yeah.
Pussycat.
the big, and then put we could get like a little stage with some like holes for the cavern, and then we can do some 80s style cocaine booths for Algernon.
We could have
And then,
slam poetry reading night.
Yeah, we could have slam poetry reading
Oh,
night
you
for
vibes.
Magpie. Plus, and then we could have this sort of this cockfighting rings. It's a cockfighter ring, but instead of chickens, it's ghosts.
Ghost fighting, right?
So then you get the ghost. We get the ghosts for Atta, and we get the fighting for Frida, and then all of our vices have been sacked.
I feel like that's a very ethically dubious use of the ghosts we collect. Just put them in an impenetrable ghost orb and let them have at each other.
Again, is it more or less morally dubious than selling them to the Hollow?
We could just
I think
let them
it's on a
be.
level. just let them be. Exactly.
Tavarian's ghost fights
Algarve.
Oh, I mean, I would pay to see that. Actually, that would be, yeah.
What if they just smooched instead?
Ooh.
Then it's a different kind of show.
Well, while we dwell on that, let's move on. So leveling up.
Right.
So we'll fly through this relatively quickly. Let's start with Magpie. So, in the last run, you did a desperate skirmish.
So I did. Can I have a Pippin prowess, please?
You can have one Pippin prowess for a desperate skirmish.
Done it.
And did you do any playbook specific triggers?
I reckon I probably did. I did some creeping and earwigging on a roof, which Magpie loves to do because she's a lurky lurk.
Yep.
I don't know if that counts, but I'd like to think it does.
Sure. Yeah, you definitely did a snoop on
She also did a bit of the hi, Vachasa rapier work.
Is that a lurk thing, though?
No, but I think it's a magpie thing, so maybe it comes under the next one.
Well,
the background and drives and all that.
So let's say one for the playbook specific triggers.
Yeah. Okay.
You expressed your belief, drives, heritage, or background. So lessons, fencing lessons came useful.
Yeah. So you asked me last time where did Magpie learn to sword fight, and I didn't have an answer, but I've been thinking about it, and the thought I had was that she probably learned to formally duel, to do fencing as part of growing up as a rich young lady. So that was probably just part of her education. But then I think it was Samuel who taught her how to convert those skills into actual fighting. Like, if you need to defend yourself, this is how you do it, kind of thing. So I think that's probably how it worked. So she did a bit of that. She expressed a bit of that stuff. I think she also, I would argue that kind of, Magpie kind of suggesting and driving for finding Songbird before we went ahead and killed Musto kind of plays into that interest she has, that growing interest she has in the kind of stuff Tavarian used to do. So that kind of building relationships, having an interest in civic matters, and not, so thinking more systemically in terms of the well-being of the city. So I would argue that plays into that aspect of her motivation as well.
Okay, I agree with that. So three XP, because I don't think you struggled with visceral traumas.
I did not. No.
You did not. Okay, very good. Next up is Atta. So I've got Atta penned down for a desperate hunt and a desperate tinker.
Indeed, yes.
So 2 for that. So 1 in your insight and 1 in your...
Another one in insight.
Insights, yes.
2 in insight. I always forget Tinker's insight. It's an interesting one.
Yeah.
So, did you do any ookie dookie spookies?
I don't think I did. Did I? I don't think so. I think this session was less ookie spook. Last score was less.
You
ookie
thought
spooky
about
and
summoning
more...
a ghost to help Cavern. You were ready.
We didn't. Yeah, I thought really hard about summoning a ghost, but we didn't need it.
You were like fully ready to do it, though.
We did more tinkering with like the EIC's stuff, so that's more of like the Atta's like
the background bit.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, you definitely hit that note for your backgrounds, drives, heritage. Anything else that you can think of that lent into Atta?
I don't think so. Unless anyone else can remember anything, I think. I think that might be it. I messed up a hunt, but that's not very Atta. Like, it's not background. I mean, it's very Atta to have messed it up, but the act of trying to find a person poorly.
You know what? I think I might backdate this a little bit further, because just before the run, you utilized brand new Ookie Dukes to
Yes.
compel the ghost that attacked you in the gold pot.
We sure did.
So let's clock that one in as well. So we're at 2. Are we thinking anything else? Any vice traumas? Again, yeah, it was quite cut and dry, wasn't it?
It was
Okay.
quite cut and dry, yeah.
In which case, 2 XP for the Atta.
Mm-hmm.
Next up is the Algernon. So I've got you with a desperate command. Algernon getting in on the action. Any spidery stuff?
Yes, well, the whole thing was quite spidery, wasn't it? Lying to powerful people, doing secret stuff under their nose,
Yeah.
and also, like, off the cuff blackmailing one of my old colleagues via earpiece, via Cavern.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, you were so under the radar and secretive that you didn't even tell the person you weren't trying to kill that you weren't trying to kill them. So, yeah, we'll call that 2. Backgrounds, heritages, drives.
I think messing with the EIC, having that little dossier of all the agents who've been following us, and also stopping Frida from being an outright murderer in public, I think is a nice expression of Algernon's drive.
Yes, Algernon is not one for public displays of emotion of any sort. So, okay, yeah, well, 2 different. So that's another 2. Any struggles with vital trauma?
I did have that little foresight relapse where I saw Songbird.
You did. That was definitely a struggle. Okay, so Algernon with 5 XP. Supercharging. Next, we'll skip down to Frida. So I've got Frida the Freight Train, down for a desperate consort, a desperate sway, and a desperate skirmish.
Very desperate.
Cheeky little 3-fer.
Yeah.
So if you pop a pip in all of those, so
so that's 1 in resolve, 2 in prowess, right?
1 in resolve, and so consort and sway, 2 in resolve, and then skirmish, 1 in prowess.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Cool. Did you do any whoppy boppy stab and choppies?
Oh, so much of it. I did a wreck down the alley, and I did a skirmish with the guards, and yeah, and also I threw a torch at a load of barrels to blow them up.
Yes.
And also, I did quite violently throw Musto in a sack and then drag him halfway across the city.
This was one of the more GTA inspired missions, I felt. So yeah, we'll start that count on 2. Any beliefs, drives, heritages, or backgrounds?
Yeah, so I used my sort of like connections and know-how of my sort of childhood sort of haunts in Rookridge to find Musto. And yeah, I mean, just generally did things very violently, that's as I do. And yeah,
I'm gonna call that 1, but when we look at the struggles with vice and trauma, there was definitely a moment where you nearly you were considering stoving in Algernon's head. We had to calm you down at the water's edge. But I'll call it just 1 because you did show some degree of restraint in the end when you had the you were eyeballing the Bloodletter's blade, but then decided to go for the knuckle dusters instead. at the last minute. Okay, so that sounds like 4.
Happy with that.
Beautiful. Last but not least, Cavern.
Hello.
I've got Cavern down for a desperate finesse.
Eee.
That's the name of my upcoming alt rock album. So 1 pip for that. Did you do any sultry smoothie woovies?
I don't really think I did. There wasn't a lot. I think, besides from talking to the group of keepers.
Didn't you try to smooth talk the EIC agent?
Not really. No, I think I just tried to ask him who he was.
Because the keepers, I feel, would clock him for your background heritage bit. Was there anything? I suppose that your encounter with that peculiar creature was a bit kind of off note, wasn't it?
Yeah,
It
I mean, I
was
tried to
desperate
deceive
stress.
it with the powder, but obviously that didn't go the way I wanted it to go.
Well, I mean, it's a thought. That, oh no,
You
scorched
burninated
his
him.
face off.
Yeah, fair enough. I'll have
Okay,
it.
yeah, so we'll look at that. You tried, you leant back on your transporter. It didn't work quite as you intended, but I thought it was there. Yeah, you reached out to your, you went through your little black book to get some leads on Musto. Any other Belief Strives heritage background?
If we're going back to like right at the beginning,
yeah,
could
top in the
I
gold pot.
also? Well, I don't even think in the gold pot. A little bit later after that, getting the book about Meladani from the Faith.
Oh, from your background. Yeah, okay. I think that sounds about right.
Yeah,
Sounds about it. So 3 XP for Cavern.
nice.
And so with you lot leveled up, next comes the crew. So did you do a smuggle? Did you execute a smuggling operation?
Yes,
or
we
acquire new
did.
clients or contraband sources?
I think we did.
I think you did.
We were employed for a murder, but we did a smuggle.
There's a part of me that feels like the fact that you took a wet work job and turned it into a kidnapping instead just kind of leans that much harder into smugglers. I'm going to give the crew 2 for that.
Yay!
Did you contend with challenges above your station? If you tangle with higher tiers or more dangerous opposition? So I'm going to give another 2. 1 for tangling with the combination of the Cobbles and the Children of Ire, fundamentally. But also because the 3 of you, Atarum Magpie, fundamentally saved Cavern from whatever that creature was.
The orchestra, yeah.
So
And the EIC.
And the
And
EIC.
the EIC, yay.
We also
Did you
had
bolster?
us all running with the City Watch too. So we were basically
Yes.
pissing off people left, right,
So
and
might as
centre.
well be 12 XP, sure.
Yes. 2 is very
Did
generous.
you-
Thank you, Dan.
Did you bolster your crew's reputation? So, given the word on the street that crew from like Duskland went and
Oft Musto.
That's quite bold.
Probably hasn't improved our standing with the Cobbles overall, has it? Let's face it.
Well, we'll see. You didn't actually bump him off, so I'm not going to give you 2 XP, but I will give you 1 because everyone thinks you did.
Yay.
And did you express the goals, drives, inner conflict, or essential nature of the crew? Did anything
crew
happen that
loves
highlighted the specific elements that make your crew unique?
Musto. Our love for Musto makes us unique, and we definitely expressed
'Cause you're the
that
only
by
ones who do.
refusing to kill him. Yeah.
We were morally ambiguous as ever.
Yes.
The crew will get 6 XP. 1, 2, 5, 6.
That's very good, actually.
Which completes the XP crew bar and takes you back up to 4, which means
Oh boy.
that the crew will be able to purchase one upgrade, which could be a stash, or a cohort who may be a medic. Actually, you can get 2 upgrades or 1 ability. So if you wanted to go upgrade, you could
Stash
get
and medic?
stash and a medic.
Please,
That
please,
would be
can we have a
great.
medic, please?
Can we do that? Does anyone
Yeah.
else have any other ideas? Better.
That sounds good to me.
So a vault. Add a vault.
For all our 0 money.
So that's 4 additional coin that you can spend. Let me zero that off. And you can then pick up a second. Where is it? Pretty sure you can pick up a cohort. And we are going to make that an individual who will be a medic of some kind. So someone who's come along because your reputation is now preceding you. Presumably someone who really doesn't like Musto, and they're going to be really unimpressed when they find out the truth. Okay, so yeah, you've got a single expert NPC, so it'll be a tier 2 medic on tap for you.
Lorenzo.
He could be called Lorenzo.
Lorenzo the medic.
Cool. So that is the crew upgraded. Very, very, very good. Heat and incarceration. So you are currently at 2 of 9 heat.
Oh god.
I had a little think about this. I dug deep,
Uh-huh.
and I have decreed
We are now wanted level 3.
that this mission, this score, was loud and chaotic.
Oh,
High exposure.
shit.
4 heat.
No!
Add +1 heat for a high-profile or well-connected target.
Nah,
Because
no one knows him.
Musto
No one knows him.
Only a silly little goblin.
He's just a silly
5
little
heat.
goblin man. No!
Did it happen on hostile turf? No. Are you at war with another faction?
Nope.
No.
Not currently.
Not currently.
By some miracle.
Add
no, it's
+2
gonna
heat
change.
if killing was involved.
No!
No.
No, surprisingly.
So very, very surprisingly. However, where was that? Who had that thing about the? You mentioned the cover operation. Cover operation is one of your upgrades.
Takes 2 away.
So 5 heat, reduced to 3. You are now on 5 of 9 heat. Wanted level 2.
Why fine. Fine.
It's fine.
Why?
Fine. The Watch are currently looking for you because you are wanted, but we will move on to entanglements, and then after that we can start the downtime. So, you lot love this when I do this.
I hate this.
Interesting.
It's the group hug and ice cream entanglement.
The group hug and ice cream entanglement.
I don't know. Maybe. Could
I
be.
love it. Yeah. How about it's the smugglers' bar day entanglement?
It's the quiz night at the Spectre entanglement.
Yeah, that's how we're improving the Vice Den.
The Mother's Day entanglement.
Okay.
We all send a card to our mum.
I don't got a mum.
Most of us don't got a mum. That was quite insensitive of me.
Before we start the downtime,
What?
Who's he going to pick on?
Oh no.
are you still at Cadwallader or are you heading to the Spectre during your respective downtimes? Actually, you know what? I would just roll this into the downtime. Okay, I figured out what your entanglement is, and we'll work with that. Cool. So, next up would be the downtimes, but with the entanglement in play, and with a crew that's now been supercharged, you and the crew have all been supercharged, I reckon let's take a quick break, and then we'll finish off the downtime and the follow-up bit after. So, if you enjoyed that, make sure to hit the like button and comment down below on what the name of the new medic should be and whether or not it should be Lorenzo. Yeah, paint a picture for me of Lorenzo using only your words in the comments of what Lorenzo should look
Big
like.
moustache.
And to see if you were correct and if we use your idea, make sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell icon for notifications when releasing videos, because we've just got so much going out, it's making me go a bit doolally. But I don't want you to miss any of it, so with all that said, thank you for watching, thank you for playing, we'll see you in a bit. Bye.
Wee.
Bye.